Her name was Amina Yusuf. She was born and raised in the bustling city of Lagos, Nigeria. But her roots ran deeper, tied to a quiet village in the heart of Taraba State, where traditions lived longer than time. From a young age, Amina had witnessed something that never left her heart. Hunters from her village proudly parading the bodies of wild animals, their rifles raised high as if the blood they spilled was a trophy. In her village, hunting certain wild animals was traditionally viewed as a sign of bravery, signifying a boy's transition to manhood and courage. Lions, crocodiles, leopards, elephants, antelopes, baboons, even rare birds, were taken down not out of need, but out of pride. Every time Amina saw those lifeless eyes of once majestic creatures, something inside her broke. She would run to the edge of the forest and sit alone, listening to the soft whispers of the wind, wondering if anyone else could hear the cries of the animals that had once called those woods home. Her love for animals wasn't just a passion, it was a rebellion, a stand against those who would harm them. She promised herself that one day she would grow up to protect them, to be their voice when no one else would listen. After finishing university, that promise found its path. She was offered a rare opportunity to work at the Ibadan Animal Park in Oyo State, Nigeria. There, among the cages and enclosures, she found purpose, caring for injured creatures, feeding them, learning their habits, and slowly building a bond deeper than words. But even as she worked behind the gates of safety, her heart still longed for the wild, the untamed lands where animals roamed free, and where danger lurked not just in the form of predators, but in the greedy hands of humans. And that yearning, that fire in her heart, was only beginning to grow. At the park, Amina took care of many animals, even some very rare ones. She fed them, cleaned their homes, and made sure they were safe and healthy. Her time at the park helped her learn so much about wild animals. She didn't just love them, she understood them. 2 years later, Amina wanted more. She wanted to see wild animals in their natural homes, not just in cages. So, she made a big decision. She left Nigeria and moved to Kenya to work at the Great Tsavo Wildlife Reserve. There, she believed she could protect wild animals in the wild. When she arrived at Tsavo, things were not easy. The sun was very hot during the day and the nights were cold. Because of the remote location of the wildlife reserve, she often traveled long distances to access basic necessities like food and water. But Amina never complained. She always wore a smile and worked hard every single day. Her job was to walk through the reserve, follow animal tracks, and watch out for poachers, people who try to kill animals for money. Because she was so kind and brave, her local teammates quickly became her friends. Everyone respected her. During her free time, Amina walked quietly through the bush, watching lions, elephants, rhinos, and many other animals. She studied their behavior and wrote everything down in her notebook. Her 2 years at the Ibadan Animal Park helped her handle any kind of situation. After a few months, Amina got used to life in Tsavo. She could now drive her ATV, a small, powerful vehicle, easily through rough paths and grassy land. Normally, she always went with a teammate, but one morning her teammate got sick. Someone had to patrol, and Amina didn't want to wait. She packed her water bottle, some snacks, and all her safety gear. That day was very hot. The sun was high and the land was dry. But Amina's love for animals gave her strength. She believed the patrol would go well. As she drove through the bush, her tires left a small dust trail behind. She saw some antelope footprints and kept watch in case lions were nearby. Suddenly, something caught her eye. A strange truck was parked near some bushes. Her heart started beating fast. Something didn't feel right. She slowed down, stopped, and used her binoculars. The truck looked new, and it had no license plate. Amina decided to go closer. She signaled the driver to stop. At first, the truck kept moving slowly, but Amina didn't give up. She stood tall, pointed her hand, and the truck finally stopped, just 1 meter from her. She walked up and said politely but firmly, "Please open the trunk." The two men inside said nothing. They only nodded. Amina walked to the back of the truck and opened the trunk. What she saw shocked her: a rhino tied up with chains. She knew at once they were poachers. Amina turned quickly to run to her ATV and get her gun, but the men were faster. They grabbed her and told her not to move. They tied her to a big tree and warned her to stay quiet. But Amina shouted, "You'll be caught. You won't escape." The men didn't listen. They jumped into the truck and drove away fast. Now Amina was all alone, under the hot sun. Her hands were tied tight. The rope hurt her wrists, leaving red marks. Her throat was dry, and her body was dripping with sweat. She felt dizzy. Her vision became blurry. Then she heard a low growl. It came from behind her. The sound grew louder. Amina opened her eyes. To her horror, a group of lionesses was walking toward her. Her heart beat fast. Fear filled her whole body. The lionesses came closer and formed a circle around her. Then they moved aside to let a large male lion pass. The lion walked slowly to Amina. It stared at her with deep eyes. Then it bent down and started scratching at the rope. Amina was scared, but also amazed. The lion didn't seem like it wanted to hurt her. She looked at its neck and saw a scar. Suddenly, she remembered. A year ago, she had saved this lion. It had been attacked by hyenas, and she had cared for it for 3 months. She gave it medicine, food, and love. Now, that same lion was here, helping her. The lion kept pulling and scratching the rope. Slowly, the rope started to loosen. Amina twisted her hands hard, then she broke free. Tears ran down her face as she hugged the lion. The lion gave a soft growl as if to say, "You're welcome." In that magical moment, Amina felt something deep. When you show kindness, it always comes back. Quickly, she ran to her ATV. Her hands were shaking, but she managed to turn on the radio. She called the team and the local police. She told them about the poachers and the rhino. They moved fast. A police team and her fellow rangers began to search. After about 2 hours, they found the truck near the edge of the forest. The poachers were trying to escape, but they were caught. The rhino was saved. It was scared, but not badly hurt. The vet at the reserve said the rhino would heal soon. Amina and her team were filled with joy. They brought the rhino back to the open grasslands of Tsavo. The poachers were taken to the police station. They were charged for hunting rare animals. Amina thanked the officers and smiled. Even though she was tired, she finished her report back at the office. Later that evening, she returned to her small house near the reserve. She played some soft music and sat down quietly. As she got ready to sleep, Amina thought about the lion that had saved her. She smiled again, whispering, "Thank you." And before falling asleep, she promised herself, "Tomorrow I will wake up and continue my mission to protect every wild creature I can." Dear friend, thank you for listening to Amina's story. If it touched your heart, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel to support us.